You can listen to the Canadian Gothic early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Include it with Prime.
My name is Natalie. I hail from beautiful British Columbia. And this week on Keep Canada Weird.
Taxpayers shouldn't be shelling out hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay for large plastic rocks.
I got scammed $3,000 from somebody claiming to be a WestJet customer service rep in Kenya.
A portrait of U.S. President Donald Trump painted with horse manure by a BC artist has sold for $1,800.
You are listening to Keep Canada Weird.
Handsome Aaron Airport. We made it back. No one thought a podcast could ever run this long, but this is our 225th time keeping Canada weird with our expose of all the unique, offbeat, and unusual things that played out across this great nation over the past week. But before we get into all the stories and everything else, I want to ask you, how you doing down there? I think we're in the middle of a heat wave.
I don't know if in my area you would call it a heat wave. It's warm, but certainly not heat wave category yet for me personally. I'm only speaking for myself. You have a different story. I think you should tell your story, your side of things.
We all have our own story, and I will tell you it's uncomfortably hot here in Halifax, but fortunately I do have air conditioning, and I'm in my basement where the air conditioning is extra powerful, so I feel great. I feel so great that I want to mix things up a bit here. You know, at the beginning of the last probably 20 episodes or so, I've been leaning into the numeric significance of the episode description. This is episode 225. You probably think I'm going to bust out some facts about that number, right?
Well, that's what I've been expecting every episode so far, yes, is for you to be vomiting facts about whatever the number is.
I am not going to do that today. I'm turning over a new leaf, and I'm passing the microphone to a listener named Freya, who has something to say to open the show.
Hi, guys. It is Farah, your correspondent from Illinois. I'm actually calling in to let you guys know that I love the number segment. I love numbers, and numbers are an identifier, and I love that they're used to identify literally everything, from house numbers to the time, to how fast you're going, to, how much of a drug you're getting for medicine. I also want to let you know that 225 is the area code surrounding Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It is also the country code for the Ivory Coast. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I can't wait to hear the episode.
I found a kindred spirit in Farah.
You found one person. You found one, and I suggest that you marry her. Because I don't think you're going to find anybody else in this world that is into the numbers segment as much as you are. Like I told you, I am going to participate in the numbers segments. We're episode 225 right now.
Yeah.
So not next week, but the week after.
227. Okay. All right. We'll look forward to that. Thank you, Farah. That was very cool to find a kindred spirit. I knew someone out there appreciated the work we're doing, and glad you found the show and glad we found you. We should bust out the special drinks, though. That's how we really get things rolling here. Who should go first?
I'll go first if you want to ask.
Yeah, Aaron, what do you got in your cup today?
Well, I've got a Cove soda.
Mm-hmm.
It is cream soda flavored, and I actually have never had this one before.
I don't think I have either. Show me that can.
Yeah, I saw it in the grocery store today.
Okay.
And I saw the different color, and I was like, I don't recognize that Cove can, so it stopped me dead in my tracks. Mm-hmm. And I picked one up, and I'm going to try it. And I have my Robin's coffee mug to pour my Cove soda into, just to make it extra special. So here we go.
Damn, that blew my ears off there. I like that. Pour that bad boy.
Here it comes. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, take a big hit off it.
I'm going to smell it first. So just respect the process. An enchanting aroma. Now for the taste.
Okay.
It's good. It's not my favorite Cove, though, but
Okay.
sometimes Cove soda takes a few drinks before you settle into the taste of it.
And I find they do better with the off the beaten path flavors. Like my least favorite Cove soda is their classic cola. I find it disturbingly ungood. But then their bizarre flavors are the ones I really enjoy. And a cream soda is a pretty run of the mill flavor, but I feel like almost like pizza. Cream soda should be hard to mess up.
Yeah, it's good. It's not bad. It's just the first swig of it has a kind of a odd taste, but then it settles in and then it tastes okay.
Okay. Well,
So-
we'll check back in throughout the episode. And see
Yeah,
how
I think
it
that's
settles
for the
in.
best. Yeah.
I have probably for some an underwhelming special drink, but we should be transparent about this. As usually we record our episodes in the evenings, but since Handsome Aaron Airport wants to go to the beach later, we're recording midday, and my special drink today, because it's midday, is a nice big cup of coffee with some sweetener and some cream in there. The only thing I'll say about it, other than when I make coffee at home, it's always really good. I pride myself on being a good coffee brewer. But what I will say is this special drink is so expensive. What the heck is with the price of coffee? I don't know if you've bought it lately, but it's like I'm going to have to like rob a bank to afford to buy coffee that isn't crap in this house. The only thing I can really afford now is like Folgers, which I don't like. I like to buy the McCafe, and it's like I feel like maybe 4 years ago I was paying like $18 a bucket for it at Costco. Now it's like 30 something bucks. It's wild.
Yeah, the price of coffee has gone through the roof, among many things. People will notice in their grocery store aisles. So it's a tough pill to swallow right now.
But it's worth it. Yeah, I'm an ad. I'll be breaking into houses before I quit drinking coffee. So buckle up, society. I will say the one product at grocery stores that I don't know how they do it, but the price of bananas, I feel like it hasn't changed since I was a child. You can get a big bundle of bananas for $1, and they go far. Bananas are like, if you enjoy bananas, that's like a food hack.
I just bought bananas today. I did a quick run to the grocery store because I'm eating on the road a lot in the summertime when I'm on my break and I'm driving around, going to beaches, trails, hanging out with friends. So I try not to keep too many groceries in the house, but I did do a small supply run today. And I got some bananas and blueberries and strawberries and granola and yogurt and stuff like that.
Nutrition, Aaron Airport.
Right.
Let's get into the show here. We've been rattling on with all this nonsense for ages. People want to hear the weird Canadian news, and I'll tell you, this week does not disappoint. I always enjoy when we have some weird art stories to get into, public art or art at a gallery or any kind of creative endeavor that ends up as a weird news story is something that excites me. We have a trio of weird Canadian art stories in our first segment. I don't want to break it up, so let's just take our first break. We'll make it quick, and when we come back, we're going to go to Ottawa's heavy metal hospital after a short break.
Keep Canada Weird. We'll be right back after this message.
Handsome Aaron Airport, I'm a fan of heavy metal music. I consider heavy metal music a type of art. It's not really your thing, but you get the artistic value of it, right?
Of course, I can certainly respect it. I see the merit in it. It's not for me. And I don't judge anybody who loves heavy metal music. It's certainly one of the more popular genres of music.
Yeah, and you've been to a hospital before? You ever bust your leg or something? Did you ever break anything?
Interesting story. I was born in a hospital.
Oh, that is a good story. Yeah. Then you're going to love this next story. Hospitals are not known for guitar solos, for light and smoke shows, and certainly not for aggressive headbanging. But they are known to do what they can to make dreams come true. And in this case, it was heavy metal dreams. Here's the story of a heavy metal show at Ottawa's Breyer Health Hospital.
It's music you typically wouldn't hear in a hospital. But when 27-year-old Breyer Health patient Tim Barry asked to experience a heavy metal concert, Bruyer's health chaplain stepped in.
It's not unusual for us to think outside the box, but heavy metal was never on my playbook when I started here.
Tim, medically unable to go to a concert, so the concert came to him.
It was a beautiful thing.
Ottawa's Dominion Tavern putting everything together needed for the show, and for free.
We found a band, I found a lighting and sound technician, and I had all the equipment just right here waiting to go.
The lights, the sound, all the gear adding to a top performance.
Of course, a heavy metal band can get loud, so to be respectful of Tim's neighbors, the concert was held here in a hospital boardroom.
Canadian power metal band The Scepter, going all out.
If you're going to do a heavy metal show, you got to give them the full 100%. You can't, dial it back. You got to take it to 11.
They rocked out for him.
An emotional moment and show for many in the room.
Yeah, a little bit. We were happy to have our sunglasses on.
I had nurses coming up to me after and hugging me and tearing up and saying, I'm so glad Tim got to have this.
And a memorable and unique experience for everyone involved.
Tim was really blissed out by it, yeah.
That could have been our palate cleanser or the cherry on top on the end, because that was a nice story. I enjoyed that one. As a heavy metal fan, as a music fan, this does it for me.
Yeah, and what do you think of The Scepter? Do you think they have a great name? Do you think they sound good?
I wish I had have heard more of The Scepter. In that news clip, we just heard a couple pieces. What I do notice is they're pretty fast power metal, I would call it. You can definitely hear some keyboards and synthesizers are going, which is often interesting. It sounded like good music. As far as the name, The Scepter, what is a scepter? That's kind of like a gold rod thing.
Almost like a small staff, like golden staff that a king would yield, I guess. Scepter.
I don't love the name, because if you're going to name it after something like that, it should be something maybe more violent, like Battle Axe.
What about the Bloody Scepter?
Oh, yeah. Scepter of Unholiness, maybe. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they're on the right track, but I think...
Or the Scepter of the Devil.
The Scepter of Hate.
Or just the Devil's Scepter. And that would be great for the other patients who are... realistically slowly dying in the hospital next door to this boardroom. And it's like, what's going on in there? Oh, that's the Devil's Scepter just having a little show. Is he coming for me too?
The optics of this whole thing is interesting in a hospital. Just putting heavy metal in a hospital there is some contrast there, but it's kind of like the Make-A-Wish Foundation for adults, I guess. Like kids often, a sick kid will want to go to the Disney World or a hockey game or meet a celebrity or something. An adult, I just want, a heavy metal show. Surprised he didn't ask for some strippers.
That would have been perfect, actually. Put a couple poles up. Then that would be your real show.
The Devil's Scepter.
Yeah, it'll be the Devil's Scepter, all right.
Yeah, it was a nice show, a nice story. I've gotten quite a few emails of people saying, did you hear about the heavy metal show at the hospital? And this story actually got picked up by the international news networks. I've seen several music-themed magazines and stuff sharing details of this. So this went far, and my hat's off to the hospital for making it happen. They made I don't know what this guy's medical condition is, but he's unable to go to a heavy metal show, and that's all he wanted. And people wanted to make that happen. The bar got involved, did it for free. It supplied the light show and everything else. The band, I don't know if this guy requested the band or if the band got connected through the bar, but the band was happy to do it. I think everyone had a good time. This was a happy story.
It is a happy story, and glad the hospital did it, obviously. And certainly Scepter is definitely benefiting from the whole thing. Look at the publicity they're getting.
Yeah, this is a big
Think of
show.
how many hospital gigs they're going to get now. They're going to be the go-to hospital band around the country.
It's true. This was a good Canadian weird art story. Let's move on to one that I'll call a controversial Canadian art story. 3 enormous boulders have mysteriously appeared around Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. But they're not rocks at all. They're a public art installation made of plastic, and it cost roughly $300,000 for these rocks. And it's got a lot of people pissed. Here's the story about Saskatchewan's huge plastic rocks.
Gage Hawbrick isn't sold on Saskatoon's new public artwork. Created by 2 Calgary artists, these rocks are made from plastic waste. The city paid nearly $300,000 for the 3 sculptures located at the Forestry Farm, Diefenbaker Park, and the landfill's Material Recovery Center.
Taxpayers shouldn't be shelling out hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay for large plastic rocks. It's ridiculous that anyone at City Hall thought this was a good idea.
In a written statement, the artist told CTV News the one-of-a-kind project required thousands of hours of specialized work and supported businesses in the local prairie economy. The city says the project aims to get people talking about recycling and plastic waste. Haubrich calls it a waste of money. He says the cost is equivalent to the annual municipal property taxes paid by 118 average homeowners.
So 118 families, their entire property tax bills went to building large plastic rocks instead of providing the services that people want in the city.
The city defended the spending, saying that the final cost remained within budget. City Council greenlit $310,000 for public art when it approved an adjustment to the Material Recovery Center budget in 2021.
I think the frustration and the response that we're getting from the community is valid. I've expressed my concern about the amount that this capital art program allocates, and I would like to see the percentage coming down.
Councillor Randy Donauer says he plans to bring up the concerns around these rocks at the next City Council meeting scheduled for the end of August.
We talk a lot about public art installations, but usually we're talking about already installed or aging public art. I think this is one of our first time of really being on the ground as one of these things are unveiled. Why don't you describe what these rocks look like for people who are listening to this podcast?
Well, they're big, huge rocks made out of plastic, but they almost look like concrete from a distance, like they'd be made of concrete or something. And they have all these like rainbow speckles in them, like all these different little colors. And they're quite large. I'd say they're probably, what would you guess, 10, 15 feet tall, these things.
They're massive, yeah, and they look like you described the speckled appearance of them. I guess it's because it's like shredded recyclable plastic, so it's all the different kind of colors of the shredded plastics that are mixed together. But yeah, they look like big. I wouldn't have known they were plastic unless I went up and touched it or something. It does look like just like concrete with little colored rocks or something put in there. But they don't really have an artistic style to them. I guess it's a little bit geometric. They have, it's not like it's around it.
Very sharp edges and, geometric, I guess, would be the best way to describe them. So they don't look like natural rocks.
Yeah, but I do think I would walk right past this without realizing it was some artistic thing.
Right.
Like, it doesn't look like, it doesn't speak to me in any way other than in the context of like municipal spending.
Yeah, because the city was defending itself by saying, well, we were approved for $310,000 for a public art installation, and we remained in budget, so that was their defense. But I think people weren't specifically upset that it was that much money. If it was a beautiful art piece that was inspiring and drew people's attention and was pleasing to look at and enjoy, then I don't think people would have made as much of a fuss about it. But
yeah, it's a good
$300,000 was spent for something that just really is underwhelming, like just big plastic rocks. Once these started to go up, people are like, what is this? How much did this cost? This is dumb.
Yeah, and it is dumb. And also where they are raised a lot of eyebrows. So 2 of them were in kind of like public spaces. They were in, one was called Diefenbaker Park. The other one was called the Forestry Farm Park. That's places where the public can go and be up close to the art and touch it and stuff. But the third location for one of these massive rocks is at a landfill. And like to spend a ton of money on a plastic rock that is at a landfill just seems especially stupid.
Yeah, and I wonder who influenced the placing of these rocks, because I can see the artist being like, we should put it in a landfill because that'll really make a statement about recycling and what this art piece is really about. If this recycled art piece is at a dump where things aren't being recycled or whatever, whatever point that they're trying to make there. But how would they? I just can't see how this made it past the approval process.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like every person when this came across the desk of every person involved, they said, well, it's in budget. We're good. But a $300,000 napkin thrown in a garbage can downtown also would have been within budget. So it's not, again, like you said, it's not how much they spent, it's how they spent it. I don't think anyone is going to be happy with this art. And I fear that this will now become a public art installation that, again, is a tip of the hat to wasteful municipal spending. And it comes at a time when coffee prices are sky high. That money could have been better spent on coffee, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, and this is also going to become a prime target, like a moth to a flame, a teenager with a spray with a spray paint can is going to come fluttering over to these things and just buzzing their signatures all over it.
Yeah, that's where this one's going to end up. So we started with a feel-good art story. We moved on to a controversial art story. Now let's move on to a very controversial art story. This one may cost us some listeners, but let's do it. A Vancouver Island artist has achieved international attention after their portrait of Donald Trump, titled The Dawn of Dung, just sold for $1,800 at a fine art show. But it's not really the sale price that makes this an interesting story. Let's hear about the quick sale of the Dawn of Dung.
A portrait of U.S. President Donald Trump painted with horse manure by a BC artist has sold for $1,800. Vancouver Island artist Wendy Chartrand created the piece using what she calls an appropriate medium, saying it reflects her feelings about U.S. politics. The painting, titled The Dawn of Dung, was featured at the Souk Fine Arts Show, where it sold in just one day.
Is that an art story?
Yeah, it's an art story. It's a great art story. It's really well done. Sometimes people use extreme products or materials just to say that, hey, I made this painting out of human feces or whatever, and that's the whole part of it. But this is a circumstance where it's such a fitting material to use in how she feels about Donald Trump and her subject of this painting. And also the technique involved. It's not just her taking crap and spreading it around on a canvas. This is
actually looks really nice. Like, it's a great portrait.
It's really well done. Yeah.
And the technique that she used, like, she didn't just rub manure on a canvas to look like Donald Trump. There was a bit to it. Let me just read you something here. The artist's last name is Chartrand. Chartrand soaked horse manure in water, mashed it around, and then strained it through a cheesecloth and left it in the sun to create several darker shades of brown. She then added charcoal and several layers of clear lacquer, proving that even poop-based political art requires careful technique.
Yeah.
There was a process there. It provides an artistic piece, an art piece you can put on the wall, but it also has a story and a message, and there's meaning within all of it. So I dare say this $1,800 Dawn of Dung portrait is a better artistic accomplishment than the rock statues.
I
the rock
agree.
sculptures.
It's miles beyond the rock statues. The rock statues cannot hold a candle to the poo painting of Donald Trump. It's just... It checks all the boxes for what great art is. And when you look at it, it really does capture him.
The buyer of this art piece clearly appreciates its artistic value as well. They paid $1,800, and they remained anonymous, but they did state that they plan to hang this piece in their bathroom.
Yeah, hanging it in the bathroom. Yeah. Yeah, that's again, this is why this is so much better than the plastic rocks, is because the plastic rocks they put in a dump site, which I guess is appropriate because that is where it belongs. But this one, in a bathroom is the perfect place to hang a photo like this. Because that's where poo goes, is the bathroom.
It is true. That's it for our 3 art stories. But did you like that segment? Like, should I try to gather more stuff like that in the future?
Yeah, I love the segments. It's far superior to the numbers segment, for sure.
I don't know if I should even ask, but I was going to say, of the 3, what is your favorite artistic accomplishment? The heavy metal show, it's hard to compare the artistic value of that, but I think overall, the heavy metal show is what does it for me.
Yeah, I'm really into the Donald Trump poo painting, but I'm surprised it didn't go for more money than that.
Yeah. $1,800, that's a lot of money to throw down on a small painting, but the value of art can shock people, how much someone is willing to pay for it. I think this piece specifically, The Dawn of Dung, is so polarizing that it would need to be a private buyer buying it and hanging it up in their own space rather than in a public gallery. And maybe that's why this final sale price was maybe lower than it would be if it could be used for more public consumption.
I think the person who just bought it for $1,800, now that this thing has gone viral, could probably turn around and flip it and sell it for a lot more than that.
It's a really good point because this did go pretty far. So yeah, they maybe could turn a profit on it. But anyway, that's it for the weird Canadian art news stories. Let's take our second and final break. When we come back, I dare say this is going to be the best WTF segment of Canadian news stories we've ever done in all 225 episodes. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to hear about fake customer service scammers, my new favorite scam. Handsome Air and Airport, we've covered a lot of scams targeting Canada's vulnerable and gullible on this show, but this one I think is very unique and weird Canadian newsworthy. An Ontario woman's frustrating flight was only the beginning of a nightmare. The real trouble started after she left a complaint in a WestJet Facebook group. Here's the story of the fake customer service scammer.
I was not happy. I was really upset.
Tracy Healy of Toronto was visiting British Columbia in March and had a great trip. But when she was to fly home in April, she missed her first flight. She did make it to Vancouver Airport for her connecting flight, but was not allowed to board.
So I'm sitting at the airport and I'm panicking because I need to get back home to Toronto and I have work the next day.
Healy decided to vent her frustration by contacting WestJet through social media.
I log on to Facebook and then I found the WestJet customer service Facebook group.
She says almost immediately she got messages from people claiming to be WestJet employees who wanted to help.
We want to make this right for you. We're going to give you a refund and we're going to pay for your flight home.
Healy says she was asked for her credit card and banking information so they could give her a $3,000 refund. But instead, the money was taken out of her account.
I got scammed $3,000 from somebody claiming to be a WestJet customer service rep in Kenya.
When CTV News reached out to WestJet, a spokesperson said, WestJet will never request payment or sensitive personal information through unofficial channels such as unsolicited WhatsApp messages, calls, or non-verified social media accounts.
Criminals will monitor the comment section of so many recognizable brands.
Cybersecurity experts say you should avoid posting comments online and not interact with companies through social media platforms. Only deal with them through regular channels.
Reach out to us through our published phone number and we will help you. Nothing else should be trusted.
Healy says she should have noticed some red flags, but says she was frazzled and frustrated being stuck in an airport.
I can't believe I fell for this. He caught me at a moment when I was primed for the picking.
Oh man, have you ever heard of this sort of thing?
No, I haven't actually. It doesn't surprise me. I've heard of, we've covered on this show so many similar adjacent types, scams, but scammers are lurking around every corner of life right now. And they're just waiting for one little nugget of information that they can get in order to target you. And things like this make a lot of sense for them because it adds an element of legitimacy to them, because they see that you complained about WestJet and then they contact you pretending to be WestJet. So it lines up for the person being scammed. Like, it makes sense. Like, yeah, I did make a comment on social media about you. Yes, okay, yeah, I'll take a refund or whatever.
And in this news clip, one of the things it showed on the screen was like a screenshot of the message requests, I believe, that this woman was receiving. And it was all people who had, it was just like, looked like an AI headshot of somebody. And their name would be like, Ruth, WestJet customer service. And these were all like Facebook accounts. So some people are just making these nonsense accounts, floating around the different groups, or people complaining about WestJet and just writing. And I'm sure, like we've heard in the news clip, they're probably doing it for every company. And it does make a lot of sense. But what I think is interesting is so many of the scams play on the vulnerable. So we heard about all the different romance scams, which are playing on these lonely, desperate people who just want love and affection. This is playing on like the emotion of the person who's sitting at the airport flipping out about WestJet, and they make the mistake because they're so heated about their flight being canceled. And do they not find it weird though that they're, I can't talk to anyone at the desk, I'm calling, I can't get anyone, but all of a sudden I put up a message in a Facebook group and I'm getting 15 people wanting to send me money, and all they need is my bank password or whatever?
Yeah. The red flags were there, but this particular person was blinded by the emotion and the frustration of being stuck in the airport, not being able to get their flight. But what I love the most about this story is WestJet's response. So WestJet had their representative being interviewed on this story, and their response is, well, you shouldn't be going online to say negative things about us at all, because that's what leads to trouble. So if you have a problem, you just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, it did kind of seem like that. This is certainly convenient for WestJet and the other companies who people are mad at. But it's they kind of bring it on themselves in a way, because we've heard so many times, and we've talked about it so many times on this show, it seems that the only way to make things right is to go online and complain and then get the media to have you on. Like, it seems like the appeal process for so many decisions from major companies involve going public with your complaints until they finally do something for you. And so it's pretty convenient for them that all of a sudden people are getting ripped off doing it. They're like, just privately send us an email and call us. We'll get back to you in 17 weeks with some scripted response saying no.
That's right. Anytime you go publicly complaining about our company, bad things are going to happen to you. So you better watch your step.
Yeah, these scammers, there's no end to it. I've told you the story about we had an episode ages ago that mentioned Taylor Swift tickets. Every time I posted online about the episode that had the phrase Taylor Swift tickets in it, scammers were appearing in the comments below trying to sell Taylor Swift tickets. So it was obvious that they were using some kind of keyword search thing. Doesn't surprise me that this is a thing. But what does surprise me is a story that played out in Quebec. And this one I worry is going to scare you. And this one I worry is going to change a lot of things about this show. This story comes from a correspondent named Penny in Nova Scotia. Here's the story of the rabid cat terror that hit Quebec.
About 80 kilometers southeast of Montreal, life is usually quiet in Garmanchester. But for Mary Elizabeth Doyle, July 16 was quite the opposite.
Out of nowhere, this cat lunged at me, latched onto my left leg, bit and scratched.
When Doyle tried to pull the cat away, it bit her hand too.
So I had stitches like from here to there.
After calling 911, an ambulance arrived. But before the cat was captured, she says it bit one of the paramedics as well. Both received emergency treatment. A week later, test results confirmed the cat had rabies. 3 people were ultimately treated for possible exposure. Quebec's agricultural ministry says it is the province's first recorded case of raccoon rabies in a cat. And the disease is spreading in growing numbers among wildlife. The province confirmed 118 cases of raccoon rabies so far this year, compared with 93 during all of last year. Infectious disease expert Dr. Michael Libman says that even if cats and dogs rarely catch rabies, he still urges caution.
Don't approach unknown animals. I mean, they may look all cute and fuzzy, but you just don't know.
If you are bitten, scratched, or exposed to an animal's saliva, he says there's no time to waste.
The most important thing, of course, is you wash the injury. Soap and water is fine, 15 minutes. But in any case, you got to go and seek medical attention, because no matter how rare it is, the disease itself is uniformly lethal.
Despite finishing her treatment, Dill says she's still recovering from the event.
I haven't been outside just by myself.
She has now vaccinated her 2 indoor cats and wants others to do the same.
Just to be aware that it's a jungle out there right now.
Doyle hopes her story reminds people that when it comes to rabies, acting quickly can save a life.
Wow. That was a chaotic afternoon out in the yard. It seems like this cat pretty much snuck up on her like a planned assassination and then stuck around to attack the ambulance driver and paramedic who showed up.
Right. So who is the correspondent's name that sent you this story?
Oh, that was from a listener named Penny in Nova Scotia.
Okay. Yeah, Penny. All right. And so the correspondent's name was Penny, and it's a story about a cat attacking a woman. This story is made up.
Do you think so?
I think you developed, created, and administered this story, and I'm disappointed that you would stoop to this level in this dogs versus cats debate or debacle that we found ourselves in on this show. And I'm saddened by it. I'm saddened that you'd stoop to this level, because I love dogs. I love cats. I think that we can all live copacetically in this world together, hand in hand, paw in paw. But you have created fiction.
That is untrue. I deny those allegations, but I will say, and again, in the interest of transparency, my dog didn't submit that story. I just came across it, and we've made it our mandate and our mission. Anytime there's a major story about cats or dogs in the news, we're going to cover it. So I had no choice but to cover this. I did bury it deep in the episode, though. Maybe this bit of news story is better left buried, and that's why I put it back here. It is a dark story, though, but there are some things we need to talk about. For one, are you surprised that she called 911 rather than just driving to the hospital or something? Because her injuries didn't look that extreme. She was bit in the leg and scratched, and then bit on the hand.
She looked pretty mangled. Like when I first started watching the story, I wasn't expecting the type of injuries that she had. And she was maybe she doesn't have a car. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I would like to hear that 911 call reporting a cat attack. But yeah, she's an older lady too, and it was pretty vicious. And at the end of the day, it seems like she did the right thing because the cat had rabies, and a human. I think we've talked about this on the show, and I think I've learned this through a past Keep Canada Weird story. But I didn't know that rabies was pretty much 100% fatal in humans.
Yeah.
Like once you develop symptoms, you're done.
I didn't know that either. Certainly, it's good that there's a medication you can take to prevent you from getting it in terms of after you've been bitten. But
you need to take it like before symptoms show up. You need to take it like right away.
Yeah. So if you get bit by an animal, and especially with this type of rabies on the rise now, apparently, which is just another reason we can't even leave the house anymore, is, you got to get right to the hospital and get this medication into you.
Mm-hmm. Rabies, to me, sounds a lot like a natural and real, in reality version of like a zombie outbreak or something. Because somehow this cat... I don't know how it came in contact with a raccoon or something because they call it raccoon rabies. But now this cat is sneaking up on people, attacking them. And were it not been for the miracle of modern day science and medicine, that this cat would have converted like 3 people into rabid humans. It attacks the woman, and then it must hide out but stay close by until the paramedics show up, and then the cat comes back out and gets them. Do you think this is a dark question. Do you think they'll put the cat down?
I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know what the official protocol is when it comes to a situation like this.
Yeah.
Because this cat, to get everybody involved in this story, the cat is just ticking them off like he was shooting them with a pellet gun or something.
Well, sounds like it's hunting, to be honest, and it's kind of scary. It got a bit of Pet Sematary vibe to it. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but there's an evil cat in that, a zombified, evil, murderous cat. I don't know if I even knew that cats could get rabies. When you hear of rabies, you think of, to me anyway, I think of dogs and bats.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a rabid cat.
I've never heard of a cat having rabies either, but I imagine any animal can get rabies. Why not?
I guess so. Well, I guess if a human can get it too. I know my sweet girl Penny, she was vaccinated against rabies. I think that's very common for animals. I believe the first round of vaccines Penny got involved rabies stuff.
Right.
I'm sure Ken Tiggs, you got him protected?
Well, he's an indoor cat, so he doesn't go outside. I guess I could give it to him if, if I was attacked and I have it and then I attacked him.
Yeah, jeez. What a mess. Yeah, I don't like this story. Let's move away from it. But again, we had no choice. It's our mandate to cover cat and dog stories if they're in the news. Here we are doing what we do. Let's quickly move on to the latest ridiculously over-the-top, stupid social media quote-unquote challenge. Police in Quebec's eastern townships are warning people about the latest in a long list of dangerous social media stunts. And this one, as I said, is especially stupid. The lug nut challenge involves people secretly loosening or removing lug nuts from parked vehicles. Here's the story.
Police in the eastern townships are sounding the alarm after 5 incidents of the so-called lug nut challenge. The stunt has been featured on social media, showing people loosening or removing lug nuts on the wheels of vehicles without the owner's knowledge. Memphremagog police issued a communique this week saying there have been 5 incidents since last fall, including 4 in the last 2 months. And in 2 of the cases, a wheel came off while the driver was being driven, and the drivers barely made it to safety on the side of the road. Police say parents should talk to their teens about this and stress the serious potential consequences.
We hope that a lot of parents will have a discussion with their kids. That's a kind of challenge that we see on TikTok. It's a really dangerous challenge. Car can go off the road. We have to put some time, using time with our teenager. Talk about this. It's like a stupid challenge,
And if a person is caught and convicted of loosening the lug nuts of a car that causes a fatal accident, the penalty could be a lifetime of prison.
Jeez. Wow, way to jump to the worst case scenario. I took a look to see if this is a thing on TikTok. I saw a couple videos of the quote-unquote lug nut challenge, but I thought it was probably people like faking it and making a joke about it. Like it was the videos I saw would be someone's holding their camera, so you just see their hand and they're like messing with the bolts on a car. But I assumed it was just their own car in their driveway, and they're just like making a stupid video that's a riff on this. If this is actually a thing, I'm surprised for a few reasons. One, it's so obviously dangerous. The second, removing lug nuts from a car wouldn't really be like a stunt of opportunity. You would need to bring like the equipment and stuff with you, like at least the wrench and all that stuff to do it. I would be surprised if kids are actually out there doing this and making videos about it.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. It certainly sounds like an extreme version of when you'd be at a restaurant and you would loosen the tops on the salt and pepper shakers. Or the sugar shakers, and you just loosen it so it looks like it's on there, and then somebody goes to pour sugar into their coffee and all of it spills out on them. But
classic.
This is a more classic, and that's more fun. Nobody gets hurt. This one is not fun. Everybody gets hurt, and
You could end up in prison for the rest of your life.
rest of your life. And the word challenge doesn't really make sense to me. You're not. Is it a challenge? It doesn't.
No, I guess the only challenge would be like people are challenging you to do something so risky as to do this. But to me, it seems more like the lug nut trap or the lug nut vandalism outbreak.
Yeah.
I hope it's not a thing. I think this is hopefully some version of mass hysteria. And maybe what's actually happening is the police say there's been 5 incidents of it in Quebec, but maybe it wasn't actually 5 incidents of it. It was just 5 people had problems with their lug nuts, and it's being connected to this lug nut challenge hysteria.
Yeah, and if there wasn't a lug nut challenge before, now there probably is going to be, because they're bringing it on themselves now, talking about this challenge that nobody was talking about prior to this story. And now everybody's talking about the lug nut challenge. And now people are probably going to be inspired to go out and do this dumb thing. When I say just stick to the sugar, dispensers at a restaurant.
Mm-hmm. And preferably not the ding dong ditch. We haven't talked about that in a while, but if you can't knock on someone's door and take off without getting in huge trouble and almost killed, you certainly can't be loosening strangers' lug nuts.
Yeah. And really you're dealing with people's lives here. Again, it's a really dumb thing to do. And our theory is we don't even believe that people are really doing this.
Mm-hmm. The police suggested that parents sit down with their teenagers and talk about it. You're lucky that my teenager isn't home right now, because I would love to have a talk with him about the lug nut challenge. And he would laugh and walk out of this room.
Yeah.
Say, what are you going on about that? You must be recording with Aaron.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. Who is behind this? Is it teenagers? Is it senior citizens?
It's senior citizens, because senior citizens are behind this because they are trying to, again, deflect blame back towards teenagers and their social media tools that they're using for these challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And this story is coming at a perfect time when attention is starting to increase on the souring seniors issue.
That's what I was thinking. And another thing, other than the timeliness of this and the way it's redirecting attention back to what is predominantly a teenager-centric problem of dangerous online stunts, one thing about teenagers is they don't generally nowadays work with their hands, remove lug nuts, have wrenches and the tools to remove lug nuts. But who would? It's a lot of the grandparents out there. They'd have a toolbox and they would know how to loosen tires, and they would think of this. A teenager is more direct, something that's just stupid and violent and quick. This is the work of a senior, in my mind, the work of souring seniors.
So we'll consider this our latest story in the souring seniors epidemic.
And on that note, the name souring seniors is one that you came up with without the help of anyone last week, but you were still slightly open to other considerations. I have a whole bunch of them. We've our inbox, our mailbox, our voicemails, which can be accessed by going to thecanadiangothic.com/contact. We've been inundated with other opinions on what we should call the souring seniors segment. I have another collage of them for us to consider. But before we hear that, I have another theory on what may actually be happening with the senior citizens in Canada, and I think it's quite compelling. It comes from a listener named Courtney, and she makes a very good case for what's actually going on with senior citizens behaving badly.
Hey, Jordan and Aaron Airport. This is Courtney, your follower from Nova Scotia calling. And I don't know what to call it, but I think maybe the seniors are just realizing that, Canada's catch and release system that they have on the go, and maybe all of the consequences that used to be available aren't anymore. And maybe that's the reason for the moral decline, as I believe that you called it. But yeah, so that's my opinion, is that they're just catching up on the times and trying to be like everybody else, I guess. How people are stealing from Walmart and whatnot. If everybody else is going to do it, I guess go with the flow.
What do you think of that? Because I think that's quite interesting and very possible.
It's definitely possible. The seniors are just trying to keep up with the trending challenges that are just floating around in the air for anybody to become a victim of. These challenges, in fact, we could have a whole other challenges segment and talk about the latest challenges that are going on in the
There's
world.
always something. And you know what? Seniors, they're not necessarily on TikTok following these trends, but they watch the news. And weird online trends often make their way onto the news. So it could be assisting in the radicalization of Canada's seniors. But there is no question that there's criticism against our government for being soft on crime, and it hasn't always been that way. So maybe some seniors are like, you know what, my whole life they would have locked me up for smoking weed. So maybe the senior citizens out there are like, you know what, it's the Wild West and it hasn't been our whole lives. Let's make up for some lost time and sour.
That's right, because a senior can hide in plain sight. That's what's so brilliant about seniors committing crimes, is that nobody is ever going to suspect the senior citizen as the perpetrator of these challenges, as we're now calling them. And I'm nervous about how much this is going to escalate with the souring seniors, because they have a lifetime of experience. So they definitely are able to use that experience for their benefit and against us. So
it's a dangerous time.
I would be worried about where this goes.
It's only going to escalate, certainly. Let's get back to the name, though. We've been going with souring seniors after pulling that name completely out of the blue last week during episode 224. But we have a whole bunch more opinions and ideas on the naming of the Seniors Behaving Badly segment. Here's the latest Seniors Behaving Badly naming collage. And I want you to take notes, Hands Marion Airport, because you may like these.
Okay.
It's Miranda calling from Port Alberni, BC. I just wanted to call and submit my last minute idea that I forgot to submit after last episode for your Seniors Behaving Badly segment. I believe that the senior senility syndrome would work very good for this. Let me know what you think.
Hey, it's Elizabeth from Tennessee. It's unfortunate that we even have to put a name to it, but if they're going to be robbing banks and holding cats for ransom, that's some sinister shit. Sinister seniors.
This is Jamie from Alberta, and I think one of the good names for that would just be Senior Shenanigans. They could be good shenanigans or bad shenanigans. I'm liking Senior Shenanigans.
Hello, Jordan and Aaron. My name is Mads. It's your fellow comrade and correspondent from Chibuktuk, Halifax. A name came to mind for the senior segment. Heinous Hags. You know? I will leave that one with you and see if it resonates. Thank you so much. Keep Canada weird.
Do any of those resonate with you?
Yeah, a few of them do. Sinister Seniors certainly has the rhythm and the sharpness that we're looking for in a name of a segment like this.
Yeah, Sinister Seniors was good, and Senior Shenanigans kind of goes right along with that. The one that I wasn't crazy about, it has the right sound, but Senior Senility Syndrome, it has the right flow and the right sound, but it kind of points towards a motive and a cause, being that the senility or becoming senile plays a part in it. But I don't necessarily think that's what's causing this.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm gonna veto that name.
It's a really good effort on the name, because it certainly has a lot of moving pieces to it. And I would like to honorable mention Heinous Hags, because I like that name. It's really funny, but it does kind of... Hags is more of a feminine name.
That's what I thought as well.
Kind of disregard the male seniors, I think. But I love the name Heinous Hags. But I think out of all of them, Sinister Seniors is a really strong contender.
But is it better than Souring Seniors?
We'll have to sleep on this one, I think.
Okay. We'll find out next week, I guess. We'll see. And like I said, it's like I want to have a couple names there that we really like. And when the right story comes out, we just start talking. And whatever flows out of our mouths, be it Souring Seniors, Heinous Hags, Sinister Seniors, or maybe we just end up saying seniors behaving badly. But we'll see.
Heinous Hags sounds like a dank pub that's like in the corner of some small little fishing town. Going over to Heinous Hags to eat some haggis.
Sauerkraut, yeah. It could be one of those restaurants where the staff are in character, like where they like
Heinous Hags.
Yeah, and it's just these cranky old ladies like, what do you want? Bring out this rock.
Welcome to Heinous Hags. Now get out.
I do appreciate everyone contributing their ideas. I'm glad that so many people are as invested as we are in the Souring Seniors segment. I think big things are coming for Canadian seniors in 2026 and beyond. I think we're only at the beginning of this. Once we narrow down a name and lock that in, I think all hell is going to break loose.
I agree. And whether we lock down a name or not, the seniors are taking over regardless. And this is going to be a war between the teenagers, the seniors, and the animals of who controls the world.
With that said, let's put a bow on this. Handsome Aaron Airport, until next time.
Jordan, bus stop, backhoe, Heinous Hags Bonaparte. Until next time.
I'm going to go upstairs, flip up some coach cushions. I think there's some quarters down there. I want to get a cup of coffee, so I've been saving up so I can get $1 million to go to Costco and buy more McCafe stuff so I don't have to force down this Folgers anymore.
Yeah, and Jordan, until next time, I've been bitten by the weird Canadian news bug, and now I have Keep Canada Weird rabies, and I'm now foaming at the mouth for more weird Canadian news stories.
I want to thank you for helping Aaron and I fulfill our mission to keep Canada weird. Now, if any one of you listening want to get more involved in what we're doing, we need all the correspondence we can get. So if something weird happens in your area, or if you have any thoughts on anything we discussed tonight, let us know about it. The best way to reach us is by using the voice recorder that can be found at thecanadiangothic.com/contact. Now, I'm going to start wrapping up the episode, but before we part, let us thank a few people. First of all, Aaron and I want to give a big thank you to all the correspondents who contributed to this episode. If your voice message was aired on the show, go back to thecanadiangothic.com/contact and fill out the form to claim your swag pack and Keep Canada Weird badge. We'll happily get it right out to you. Next, a big shout out to Unicole for the intro and outro voiceovers, and Monty Data, who provides the outro version of O Canada that you're about to hear. And then lastly, but most importantly, we have a massive thank you to every one of you listening, as without your interest and your support, this work would be impossible. And for any one of you out there who want to support the show financially and get more out of the show at the same time, please consider the premium feed. Our premium feed subscription costs just a couple bucks a month, and that money will fund the creation of new episodes. But the premium feed will also give you those episodes early, give them to you ad-free, and give you access to a full back catalog of Keep Canada Weird episodes and bonuses. You can go premium at thecanadiangothic.com/subscribe. And even if the premium feed isn't for you, you can still support the show by simply sharing episodes on social media. That's free, and it's a big help. So until next time, take care of each other, hug your loved ones tight, and please keep Canada weird.
And now to our viewers and listeners everywhere. Good night.
Hi, this is Steven again. I just listened to your episode 224, July 31st, and I was kind of thinking about all of those titles and things about the seniors. Yes, I'm one of them. But I just want to remind everybody that you're getting old too, and you're going to end up saying the same thing as we do. Boy, what are they wearing? Oh, God, those iPhones, or etc., whatever new technology is going to be in the pipeline in the future. you're gonna look at it and go, ooh. So don't forget, you're getting old too. Keep it weird, guys. Hope you have a great day.
Hello. This is Andrea, your correspondent from the Okanagan Valley, and I'm leaving a voice note here regarding the mosquito issue in Saskatchewan. Mosquitoes have also been very, very bad in Alberta. I went there for a weekend for a family reunion, and they were the worst that I have ever seen. All the bug sprays were completely sold out, and I laughed at the comment of doing a side business about it because people are selling bug spray on Marketplace there.